Traders, what is going on today? We're going to be sipping on some hot chocolate by the fireplace, and I'm going to be reading you guys. Yeah, you heard it right. I'm going to be doing the audio for the introduction of my book, Among the 10%. And I'm going to be doing a giveaway. So if you guys comment in the comment section below, I'm going to be signing and sending off a copy because I'm feeling like I'm in the Christmas spirit. You know, I'm in the giving spirit. So we're going to be doing a giveaway, so you guys comment something below. Your experience in the markets, your trading journey, your experience, that sort of thing, and we'll send it over to you. Let's get straight into the video. I'm going to be reading the introduction to you guys. Now, that's about 20 pages long. The other chapters you guys are on your own with. You're on your own with. We got number one, the chapter 1 is the 101s. Everything you need to know when you're getting started with trading. Chapter 2 is trading with emotions, something that we all need to read about, honestly. Chapter 3, patterns. 4, introduction to brokers. 5, creating a watch list. Chapter 6, going offshore. Chapter 7, trading with intensity. And then in conclusion. So let's go ahead and get straight into it, guys. I hope you enjoy my voice because you're going to be hearing it for a little bit of time here. Here we go, guys. Introduction. When I was first introduced to day trading in the stock market, like most, I was enticed by the quick and purportedly easy profits that professional traders were making. This drew me in, but like anything, when we watch professionals show off their talent, it does seem, on the face of it, effortless. I remember years ago, I was watching professional athletes. They were snowboarding on TV, going up and down hills, moving in an S pattern, doing backflips, doing front flips, and I wanted to get out there and emulate this because it looked so fun and effortless. Needless to say, I could barely get down the bunny slope. This is exactly how people approach the market, though. They see how effortless it is for some individuals, and then they put all their money into a brokerage account, and they lose it all. See, they overestimate the amount of profit they should make and underestimate the amount of preparation it takes to get there. And then on the contrary, I've heard of people say that they would only get into the stock market if they had the funds to do so. Why would anybody be so naive to say that? That's the equivalence of me saying, I'm not going to practice any basketball until I'm facing professional athletes in the NBA. You should want to learn how to trade in the market before you have the capital to do so. These professional athletes spend 95% of their time practicing and 5% of their time actually in the game. I spend thousands on top of thousands of hours studying the markets before I funded my brokerage account. And it's said that it takes about 10,000 hours of studying something to master it. If you're reading this book and don't have the funds to trade, or you only have a few $1,000s to trade with, then this is the perfect time for you guys to learn. Would you really expect to tee off well in a PGA tournament going up against Tiger Woods, having not trained at golf in any way? Of course you're going to lose. In my early school years, fear was instilled in me from those who were in the real world. A daunting picture was painted for me, but upon graduating college, my life became better than ever. Rather than attending classes and wasting more of my time learning how to scrap a conventional living, I now was able to self-educate myself on how to make a fortune. See, Mark Twain once said, "I never allowed schooling to get in the way of my education." Many people have influenced me to believe that working hard is what pays off, but I've learned that working smart is something that pays off. A challenging decision for me was when my professor had offered me a free master's degree. I had just finished my bachelor's, knew exactly what I wanted to do. I could not justify wasting another 2 years on schooling to push back what I knew I was going to do, the rest of my life. I had finally found the career I wanted to pursue and knew that more schooling would deviate me from that narrow path I was on. I knew that following my dream would be difficult, but I also knew that it would be a tragedy not to. See, your dreams only work if you work, and you can make them come true or you can make excuses, but you can't do both. Do what you have to do to propel yourself forward, not lateral. If day trading was an option for a master's degree, certainly there had been no doubt I would have signed up. But unfortunately, that wasn't the case, and I knew the only thing that was going to get in my way was me. And the decision I made at that point in my life impacted me where I am now. Each and every decision you make every single day has a significant impact on your future, whether you guys see it or not. Things such as time you go to sleep, how often you study, if you work out, what you eat, etc., etc., etc. Every little detail influences your trading day. Are you ready for this? How hungry are you for financial freedom? It's easy to accept what your social environment preaches to you, that is, negatively charged beliefs about becoming financially successful, this cripples your growth. Don't ever question where you're going to be, just question what you're going to do to get there. Without question, you must have an unshakable faith in yourself, because if you don't believe in yourself, why should anybody else? There will be many new habits that you will need to make and many habits that you will need to break. Are you willing to disconnect from friends distracting you from your goals? Are you willing to go to bed early to wake up early? Are you willing to put all habits aside that do not advance your goal? You must be disciplined, focused, and determined that no one and nothing will get in your way as you journey towards success. There will be those people that tell you that day trading is a joke, it's gambling, etc. I myself have heard it all. But don't let they get you down. See, they unfortunately can be your close friends and family, but I'm telling you that they are your worst enemies. The reason they are your worst enemies is because they are typically the people you take advice from. Do not let anyone discourage you from doing what you know deep down inside you can do. Don't tell your big dreams to small-minded people, because within everyone is success, but oftentimes we let they derive it from us. I'm here writing this for you because I want you to succeed, and I know you can. And I want to be the mentor to you that I've never had. I've gained so much knowledge on my own. I want to share that information to you so that you can become an independent, successful day trader. The stock market is not a joke, nor is it gambling. This is a huge misconception and oftentimes an excuse for those who lost money in the stock market and want to put the blame on anything but themselves. How could the stock market be a random system of gambling? If you are to enter a trade without a training plan, then this would be gambling. But we're dealing with people, and people's behavior is not random. That is why traders who study and understand the psychology behind why people do the things they do, they succeed in the market. Gambling would be going to a casino and playing slots. Slot machines average, a certain payout, and who this payout goes to is random. People are predictable. You are the house. These slot machines are pre-programmed to only pay out once they've reached a certain profit. I remember a couple times I went and played slots sitting next to some old ladies smoking and hagging on some cigarettes, and the first time I pulled the lever, I won 50, and the next time 500. Right after both those wins, I got up and walked away. I left because I know these machines need to make back a certain amount of profit. This would not be a consistent way to make a living, but notice how I use the word won, because in the stock market, I don't win money. I make money. If you know when most people will buy and sell, then you can know how to consistently make money. You don't have to know what the market will do tomorrow or a year from now. In day trading, we are focused on what's going to happen in the next few minutes and profit off of that small window of opportunity. This takes familiarity, though, and it's possible to be a gambling trader, merely just focusing on the profits rather than focusing on risk management. This is a point I hope I'm getting across to you guys. Every consistent, profitable trader I've talked to has said that it took him years to reach this level of consistency. Consider this a time of education. This is less education than most all degrees. You cannot step into a completely new environment without first familiarizing yourself with it and then adapting to it in a way so that you thrive in it. This is not a sprint, it's a marathon. This is not a get-rich-quick scheme. This is a job in which you will work overtime in order to achieve your success. There's a misconception out there that in the stock market you can make a ton of money with little to no work. This is ridiculous. Don't underestimate the amount of work you're going to put into trading just because you see professionals making ridiculous amounts of profits in a quick time. I'm not saying all this to discourage you. I'm saying this so that you're not surprised like I was when I realized this was hard work. For every great thing in life, there's a price that must be paid. The saying goes that 90% of traders lose money. Well, many people fall off the tracks and never get back up. But as long as you get back up every single time you fall and learn why you fell, you will become successful. This experience will be your best teacher. In fact, experience is your best teacher. It's one thing that cannot be taught. Learn these lessons through watching the market every day and paper trading. While paper trading, you need to keep a record of every single trade you make. You will have a lot of winners. You're going to have a lot of losers. The key here is to determine why your winners are winners and why your losers are losers. Doing this with paper money will allow you to learn who you are as a trader because you will lose. This is part of day trading. How you handle your losses will determine your future as a trader. Many newcomers will fall short because they cannot handle losses. What they never understand is that losing strengthens, but it's up to you to allow your losers to strengthen you. This is part of the education process that will also allow you not to lose your hard-earned money. Until you put in the market education, do not use real money, especially if you cannot afford to lose it. For now, just manage yourself and your time in the way that creates the trader that you will one day be. Every trade provides a lesson to learn from. Learning from every winner and loser while accepting full responsibility for every loss is key to your growth as a trader. Every trader will experience loss, but not every trader will learn from them. Your response is your responsibility in the market. You are 0% responsible for what the market does today, but you are 100% responsible for how you react to what it is doing. It is very easy to put the blame on the market or other variables, but this will hinder your growth. When this happens, we ignore how we could have made a better trade because in our minds, it wasn't our fault to begin with. I recall in school, while I was in high school, if I didn't prepare at all for a quiz, ended up getting lucky and making a good grade, I feel like, I know the material. I don't need to study for the test. But when the test day arrived, I wasn't so lucky. We must acknowledge that there are lessons to be learned from both our winners and our losers. This may not make sense to some of you, but there is such a thing as a good losing trade and a bad winner. Let me explain. Every experienced trader accepts the risk involved in each trade and knows his exit on a position before he or she ever has thought of an entry. You must predefine your risk before ever entering a trade. If I don't know my exit upon entering a trade and experience FOMO, which is the fear of missing out, and deciding to chase the stock and end up profiting, I would not be satisfied with that trade because I allowed my emotions to trade for me, and that's not going to result in consistency. You must learn what your emotions cannot conquer you. You must learn that your emotions cannot conquer you, or you will fail in the market. You have to conquer your emotions. Even so, while in a trade, you must stick to your trading plan. See, amateur traders will decide mid-trade to change their risk parameters. For instance, your exit has already been mapped out, but when the stock drops below that, you say, well, there's another area of support below this. I'll wait and see if that level holds. Holding and hoping is not a strategy in the stock market. Your original game plan is. Have confidence in your game plan because overconcern and fear can cause indecisiveness, which will leave you blankly staring at the price action, not knowing what to do. See, what if a football team is on offense out there on the field? They don't huddle, they don't talk about their game plan before the ball is hiked. The players are going to be confused, they're going to run their own route, and they're going to leave their quarterback perplexed, putting him in a state of paralysis that lends him getting sacked. The opposing team that made the plan will be rewarded. The quarterback has to formulate a plan with his players in order to have a successful down. You as a trader need to formulate a trading plan and not deviate from it, or you guys might get sacked too. So before we get started, I want you to know why 90% of traders lose their money. I have compiled a list of the 10 reasons why I believe the majority of people will not succeed in the market. Number 1, they don't predefine their risk before entering a trade. Number 2, they don't cut their losers quickly. Number 3, they average down. Number 4, they immediately fund an account before putting in the necessary time and education. Number 5, they merely just follow alerts. That's it. Number 6, they don't take responsibility for their losses. Number 7, their risk-reward ratio doesn't allow for consistent growth. Number 8, they second-guess themselves rather than pull the trigger. Number 9, they experience FOMO, fear of missing out, and they chase stocks. Number 10, they revenge trade. My goal in writing this book is to prepare you to succeed before you fund a live account. It will cost you more to feed into your emotions, jumpstarting the live account, rather than to learn and equip the proper tools necessary to avoid those expenses. Be eager to learn, not eager to trade. Watching potential profits fly past you is okay, because it happens to all of us every single day. Study this book, study the markets. That way, when it's time to fund your account, you're going to be prepared to become among the 10%.